What's up YouTube and welcome to a new video. So recently I showed you how much the prices moved for the C7 and C8 Corvette. And spoiler alert, not much. Now this pattern we have also seen for other cars, such as the Porsche 911 991. But what about the ZR1? Production numbers are low and it might just be the last of its kind. But the car is also very new. And this combination usually means one of two things. Values plummeted or they went up. In this video I will then also show you exactly what happened to ZR1 prices in the last 6 months. Let me start by showing you the current market. You can see that we have the model year on the horizontal axis and the price on the vertical axis, and that each car is represented by a bubble. Now, like I mentioned before, the market is extremely small as there are only 13 cars for sale. And these 13 cars have a median price of $136,000, but prices already start at $125,000 and stretch up all the way to $150,000. Now, because the market is so small, it is difficult to split it even further. We could, for example, have a look at the market split by transmission type, trim level, or the presence of the track package. But none of this makes any sense as there are not enough cars in each category. It is even so that the analysis of the full market is quite challenging because there are so few cars for sale. But as always, let's just work with what we have. Now before we start to investigate how much the prices changed in the last 6 months, I first want to show you how the prices actually compare to the C7 and C8 prices. You can see that besides the ZR1, this graph includes now also the C7 Stingray, the Grand Sport, the Z06 and the new C8 Stingray. Now I'm not going into the details for all of these markets. If you're interested in those, then I recommend that you check out my C7 analysis by clicking on the pop-up banner over here. Or if you're interested in the C8 market, then I recommend that you check out my C8 analysis by clicking on the pop-up banner right over here. And you can also find the link to those videos in the description of this video. Now then, let's focus on the C7 ZR1. You can see that the model really stands apart from the rest of the C7 model range. The market is the smallest and also the premium of the ZR1 is the largest. It is twice as expensive as the Z06. Interestingly though, when you compare it to the C8, then you can see that if you're shopping in the top end of the C8's price range, you can also shop for a ZR1. Now the C8s over here are of course priced way over list. And if you are considering to pay so much more over list, which I by the way don't think you should do, then you also might consider to go for a ZR1. If you look at this purely from a financial standpoint, that may make a lot more sense. And how much more sense? That we will find out now as we will continue to investigate how much the prices moved over the last 6 months. And we start off by comparing today's price and mileage distributions to the ones 6 months ago. You can see that in orange, we have now the current market, and in blue, we have now the market of June 2020. And you can also see that the orange price distribution lays on the right hand side of the blue one. And this means that prices increased. 6 months ago, the median price was $130,000 and now it is $136,000. So that means an increase of $6,000. Moreover, this increase is actually statistically confirmed. And this means that the price increase is unlikely to be the result of mere chance. Yet, you need to take into account that the power of these statistical tests is vastly reduced due to the limited number of data points what we have here. So please don't forget about that. Let's now also have a look at the mileage distribution. Here you can see that the orange distribution lays completely within the blue one, with exception of this area over here, which represents the high mileage cars. It is then also this little bump which pushed the median mileage up to 3,500 miles. And this is an increase of 800 miles compared to the market 6 months ago. And when you think about it, this is quite extraordinary. When mileages go up, prices usually go down. But not here. We just saw that prices went up. But let's investigate this price increase now a bit closer, and we will do that by looking at the market from a mileage perspective. But before we do that, if you like this video, please support the channel by smashing that like button. Also, if you like this data-driven way of analyzing car markets, but would have liked to see the analysis for a different car, you can comment the name of that car down below in the comment section. Once there are enough requests for a certain model, I will make a video about it. Also don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you get actually notified when your requested analysis goes live. Now then, back to the ZR1. In this graph you can see from a mileage perspective how the prices change. In orange we have again the market of today, and in blue we have the market 6 months ago. And you can already see that there are quite some big changes. Let's start by investigating the current market. You can see that there's only one car for sale with 0 miles, and that the highest mileage car has almost 20,000 miles. Also, like we've seen before, prices are all over the place. For a car with 2,500 miles you can pay $130,000, but also $150,000. Now it appears to be so that the cars in the upper part of this price range have the track package. But like I mentioned before, due to the small number of data points, it is very difficult to validate this. What also results from the few observations is the large shaded area surrounding the depreciation per 1,000 miles line. This large area namely indicates that there is a lot of uncertainty in the market. The market 6 months ago has a much smaller shaded area, and the price uncertainty was then also a lot smaller. You can see this from most of the mileages, and especially the lower mileage cars, the price range is relatively small. The market was also slightly bigger as there were 21 cars for sale versus only 30 now. Now if we look at the prices, then we can see indeed that the orange line lays above the blue line. Hence, the median price went up. But where exactly is this price increase coming from? Well, for the cars over 7,500 miles we have only 3 observations. So we can't really use that area of the graph. But for the lower mileage cars we have 10 observations. So let's have a look at that area. We can see here that 4 out of 10 cars are priced similar as they would have been 6 months ago. These cars over here around 2,500 miles are priced in the blue area. This group of cars, however, is priced significantly higher. Most of these cars have a decent spec, but so had some cars 6 months ago. Now, the question is of course, will these cars actually sell for this price? Probably not, but it's very difficult to find data on actual selling prices of used ZR1s. If we have a quick look at the auction results from Bring a Trailer, then we can see that only 2 ZR1s were put up for sale and that both didn't meet their reserve. And interestingly, one of the cars which was put up for auction here belongs to the group of these highly priced ZR1s which we saw in the previous graph. That car has an asking price of $149,000. But on Bring a Trailer people only bid up to $126,000. And as you can see, that was not enough. Now if you read the comment section on Bring a Trailer, then you will see that people are speculating that the seller wanted at least MSRP for the car. And whether that is fair or not, that I leave up to you. So, what are we going to make of these prices and the price increase? Like I said 1,000 times before, quantitatively it is very difficult to say that the price increase is an actual price increase and not the result of the small number of data points. However, I need to say that from a theoretical standpoint, the ZR1 could fit right in with future collectibles. If we first focus on the data, then a big reason for this is that we can't see a price decrease over the last 6 months. The ZR1 is still a very new car and, traditionally, a car from model year 2019 doesn't bottom after 1 or 2 years. Also, we can see that a few people put up their car for sale for way more than what is typical for that mileage. And this also fits right in the pattern of a market which might go up. After all, if a few of these cars will sell, let it be with a small price reduction, a precedent is set for the rest of the small market. Now, if we just look at the car then, and leave the prices aside, then it also makes sense. The ZR1 is really the last of its kind. It has a big engine in the front, a manual transmission, and production was limited. Now, I'm not saying that this car will definitely go up in value. I'm just saying that, based on the data and market characteristics, there might be a chance that the value already went up or will go up in the future. But please don't take this as investment advice. If you want to purchase a ZR1, you still need to do your own research. Also note that if you will actually use the car for what it's made, driving, the value will decrease anyways. However, it might decrease less than for a car with a similar performance and price level. And with that we arrive at the end of this video. Now if you enjoyed this video, please support the channel by smashing that like button. Also don't forget that you can request an analysis. Simply comment the name of the car for which you would like to see a video down below in the comment section. As always, a huge thank you for watching and I hope to see you next week for a new video.